welcome viewer to the Ranger Chamber. It's now time for this week's News from the Grid.
Hello Ranger Nation, and welcome to News from the Grid right here on the Ranger Chamber channel, your weekly update of Power Rangers and Super Sentai news. It's great, it's another fantastic week. We've got quite a lot of stuff to tell you guys for this week. Well, all you Ranger fans everywhere, get excited because we've got lots of things to cover. So, let's make a start by introducing ourselves. So, hello, I am Joe from the Ranger Chamber team, and I'm joined by these two amazing guys with me as well. Gary, my boyfriend, and of course our good, amazing friend Peter. Say hello, you guys.
Hello, Ranger Nation.
Good evening.
Good evening, yes. And we're going to kick things off now. So we're going to start things off with our main headline. Okay, so our main headline. Now this is where this is very interesting because on Thursday this week we had an event called the Hasbro Investors Day. Yes, is that it? Yeah, Hasbro Investors Day. Yes.
Indeed, yes.
Yes, where Hasbro talked about their plans for 2021 and upcoming projects, including the Power Rangers franchise. Ooh. Peter, care to explain more?
Okay, one plan that was mentioned during this live stream was their intention to reinvent the Power Rangers franchise. This is after Dino Fury concludes their Season 2. With a new era that will be, and I quote, creating a new universe for a broader audience across film, premium TV, animation, and kids content. And this was, as previously mentioned, at their recent investors event, which was streamed live over the internet a few days ago.
Yes, I mean, and to be fair, I think that sparked a lot of questions in the fandom because a lot of things were reported last year. Like, for example, last year it was reported that Hasbro and Toei's partnership would come to an end, which means that Hasbro wouldn't be having Super Sentai as their basis for Power Rangers. Which basically means when Hasbro says they're going to reinvent Power Rangers, that means they're going to. We're assuming that Power Rangers is going to be their own made-up thing, but the question is how and what's going to happen to all the classic Power Rangers from Mighty Morphin to Dino Fury. Is it going to stick around or is it going to say bye-bye? That's the question.
So you mean like the continuity? Are they going to completely reboot the franchise? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's the question. I think a lot of fans, and I think to me it'd be a crime if they rebooted it completely and we didn't have the classic Power Rangers we all grew up with. I think that would be a major crime because it's like this, you know, Mighty Morphin to Dino Fury, it's been in the franchise for 28 years, and I think it'd be really bad if Hasbro would just decide to just get rid of it all and completely reboot the whole franchise. I think if they did the next season of Power Rangers and they did it themselves without Super Sentai, I would be very curious to know how they would do that. But I've said this a lot, but as long as it sticks to being live action, I will be fine with it because it's like, you know, everyone knows Power Rangers is a live action show, and there's not a lot of really great live action kids shows that have stuck around since 1993. Let's face it, and most TV shows on kids' TV these days is cartoon animated. So of course we just have to wait and see. But Gary, what are your comments on this?
It's very fascinating because I've been on and off with the Power Rangers franchise the past few years, but I've stuck into it for the past nearly 2 years. I came right back when Ninja Steel came back, so I have been here for Ninja Steel, Beast Morphers, and now Dino Fury. So that's three. Well, actually, it'll be more like 5 years because obviously it takes 2 years for each series.
Yeah, it's kind of like Dino Charge kind of brought you back into the franchise, and then that's when I came along, and the rest is history. And I believe, Gary, you have something to show. Yeah, we both have got Dino Fury Morphers, and it is awesome. And
my batteries ain't working. My batteries ain't working.
Amazon.
My batteries ain't working. That's
Is
because
it?
you've got it off.
Oh yeah.
1 second.
Okay. So moving on. So I think because you see, it seems that Jonathan Entwistle, which was reported by a Hollywood Reporter last year, that he'll be taking over doing the TV series and the movies. Because they apparently are going to be linked. So, like, the movie is going to link with the TV show.
Kind of like when they went back to Turbo, because obviously we had the movie and then we went straight to the series after that.
It's probably going to be like Super Sentai in a strange way, because Super Sentai has a series and it also has like 1 or 2 movies as well. So maybe that's what they're trying to go for. Maybe they're trying to go for that sort of thing. Maybe that would have the movie, and then maybe they will use the movie to introduce the next team. So you can't have to see the movie to see the next team of Power Rangers. So that would be interesting. But I think for me, as long as it's live action, spandex suits, an amazing cast, great prop weapons and monster suits, you know, the rubber monster
Actually, I'm
suits.
not really bothered if it's spandex suits, as long as they keep the helmets going, because the helmets are what make Power Rangers.
You know, classic Power Ranger suits. And I think the theme, I would be very curious to know what kind of themes they go for. I mean, I don't see them doing dinosaurs again for the next Power Ranger theme, because it's like, that I think would annoy a lot of fans, because it feels like they're just trying to reboot Mighty Morphin, and I don't really want them doing that.
I think the animation that was mentioned, I think that would be a very good excuse for Hasbro to release their own version of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Because I think that could work. If they took the original, you know, Tommy, Jason, Zach, Billy, Trini, Kimberly, and put them in a cartoon, so you can extend the Mighty Morphin era somewhat, and then continue with the live action. I would be happy with that.
I would be probably okay with that if that was a Netflix series. Like, it's sort of like a spin-off series, or maybe something from the Power Ranger Kids YouTube channel. And then but please, for God's sake, Hasbro, keep the live action series. I think the best way to keep both sets of fans happy, because there's a bit of a division between the fans who want the Super Sentai stuff to continue with Power Rangers, and the other side that wants more things to continue. But it's like, I'm in the middle. I'm kind of like, I'm okay with them if they want to do their own things. But I think I would still
I'm all for an animation. I'm actually all for it, but not as a main thing. I don't want it as a main thing, because growing up with Mighty Morphin and Zeo and stuff like that as a young kid growing up, I would hate to think they would leave that era behind. But I'm all for a cartoon. I would love a cartoon Power Rangers, just not as a main
it basically as a spin-off series. Yes, yeah. I totally agree. I would be totally fine, and I would 100% support an animated Power Rangers series if it was if it was a spin-off and not as the main series. I would love it if the Power Rangers series continued being animated. I mean, I don't want it turning into anything like Miraculous Ladybug or anything like that, because I'd just be like, oh my god.
I don't mind Miraculous Ladybug. I quite enjoy the show.
Cool, but I personally can't see that as a Power Ranger series. I really can't. To me, it has to be live action, because we don't have a lot of live action kid shows these days. So stick with it. That's what I say. Change, you know, let Hasbro make their own thing up. Like, even if the Megazord fights were CGI Megazord fights, like what you see in the 2017 movie, only better, I guess. Yeah, but it's like, you know, I'm gonna trust Hasbro will make us proud and give us an awesome new live action Power Ranger series that will tie in with the movies as well. And for the fans who want an animated Power Ranger series, give them a spin-off, and then they should be fine. I mean, they'll be fine, because I'm sure they'll be fine with an animated spin-off. But anyway, last thing to add to this article is Hasbro Pulse is coming to the UK later this year. At last, thank you, Hasbro. Yeah. Hasbro Pulse, Hasbro has announced during their investors event that Hasbro Pulse will be coming over to Europe, which also includes the United Kingdom. Yes!
The United Kingdom was specifically mentioned in this live stream. I watched it.
Yes, and so did, well, I did too. And I think that's what's really fantastic. So thank you. Thank you, Hasbro, for finally listening to your fans across Europe and the UK, because we want to get some of your incredible Power Ranger products as well. So the minute Hasbro UK comes online, we will let you all know when it's available. And of course, you bet your bottom dollar or bottom Grand British pound in this case.
Sterling.
I'm moving!
Gary, he's gone on a Dino rampage. I'm so sorry. But he's
Dino tangent.
Anyway, changing the subject. Okay, let's move on to our next article, shall we? Okay.
Yes, we have merchandise, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
And our merchandise news. Gary, what is our merchandise news for this week?
Well, as you watched Fan First Friday back in February, on Valentine's Day.
Well, actually, it was the 12th of February. 12th of February. It was the week of Valentine's Day, but the
Valentine's edition.
The 12th of February, but it was a Valentine's Day edition. But still, continue, Gary.
They showed a transparent Megazord, and yes, it will be getting released. And
Well,
they're calling it.
It has been released. Well, it's been released in the States. Okay, so
Has it? And it's called Super 7 releases Super Cyborg Megazord.
well, allow us to elaborate a little more. Also this week, company Super 7 finally released their Power Rangers Super Cyborg Megazord, which is priced for $75. Which is on their website and available to purchase if you're in America. If you're in the UK or anywhere else that you would want to get it, I don't know. Peter, how do you think fans could get this, or do you think it would eventually come over to the UK, or do you think it's a US exclusive thing?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, because until Fan First Friday, I've never actually heard of Super 7. My apologies. So how we would get this, I'm not sure. Whether it be somewhere like Comics and Cocktails, In Demand Toys, Toys-R-Us, Forbidden Planet. Forbidden Planet might be a
they tend to get a
reliable one for that kind of thing, to be honest.
The thing is, I couldn't really care for this Megazord though, because it's so boring. It's like, come on, if you're going to give us a really big Megazord figure, I mean, the Megazord figure itself stands 11.9 inches tall, I think it is. But apparently it says here that it is a clear, it's a Megazord
plastic shell with accurate sculpting and partitions throughout. That's like lights, isn't it?
No, basically it means it's a clear, transparent Megazord, but the only thing that isn't transparent is the cockpit where the little Ranger figures. I love the Ranger figures thing. I love that. It's cool. It's something different. But I would have preferred if they did that, but if they did this, but they had a painted Megazord, and the only thing you had to do was remove the chest piece, like the pterodactyl dinosaur, off to see the Rangers in the cockpit or something, or maybe just the window part, or made the window of the Megazord clear, transparent instead, so you could see into the. You get the idea. I just think that this product seems a bit of a waste of time, in my opinion. But if you guys are into this sort of thing, by all means, go for it and purchase it, because it is cool to some extent. But Gary, Peter, what do you guys think of this product? Do you think this product's okay? Is it a good?
I think it's okay. Go on, Gary.
No, sorry, Peter. You first. How rude of me.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think there is maybe not a huge market, but there are definitely people out there who will buy it. So it's something different, isn't it? Because I have seen many articles saying how many more Mighty Morphin Dino Megazords are we going to get? So, I mean, I appreciate the fact that this time they wanted to do it and they've given us something different. So there is that. And Super 7 have got an entire license with them now, as far as I believe. So this could be the first of many, maybe. different versions. So we
Maybe-
could get a painted one. And again, I haven't
That's-
seen anything on the articulation on this thing either.
I think I mean, I know the arms have articulation, so I'm going to imagine they're going to have 360 articulation, and maybe the head will move, but the legs, maybe the legs will twist, and that's about it. But I don't see it doing any more than, it's probably just, to me, I think it's just going to be a solid figure piece that it's just for statue display purposes, pretty much. Okay, so that is obviously available at the Super 7 website for $75 if you're in America. But if it comes out in the UK and you're interested in this figure, or in Europe or wherever, let us know.
Sure.
And then when it becomes available, we'll find out. Yes, Gabe. What is it?
You're not going to ask me what I think of the Cyborg?
Well, go on, Gary. Tell us what you think. It's rubbish.
Well,
You're entitled to your own opinion, Gary. Come on.
no, when we watched First Band Friday and we seen it, it kind of, I thought, it looks alright, but wait till I see it in person, then I'll make my decision on it. But it's I agree with what Peter says. It's, people gonna like it, some people not gonna like it.
Yeah, if you're into it, get it. But if you don't, then don't bother with it, because I'm not bothering with it, because it's cool. The only thing I quite like is just the Megazord cockpit thing, so you can see the Rangers in the Megazord figure. That's about the only thing I like.
I reckon you could get one of those light stands and make a pretty good illuminated thing.
Oh,
out of that. I've literally just thought of just now. I might do that actually.
Yeah, probably use red, pink, blue, purple, or like a blackish purple and blue light, and then that'll look amazing. Okay, we're moving on now. So next up is TV and movie news. So obviously we mentioned earlier about Jonathan Entwistle being reported last year to take over the Power Ranger Hasbro TV and news and movie stuff. So it's really cool. But we got a little bit of Dino Fury news, which is interesting. So what kind of Dino Fury do we have? Well, this week, so as Power Rangers Dino Fury aired on the 20th of February on Nickelodeon last Saturday, we also learned this week that the actress, so I'm just getting her name, bear with me.
Josephine Davidson.
Yes, Josephine Davidson, who was known to play Morgana in Power Rangers SBD and the voice of Itasis in Power Rangers Mystic Force, has returned to the franchise to voice the cyborg dinosaur Solan in Power Rangers Dino Fury. And many fans are overjoyed, many fans on social media are overjoyed and has praised the actress's return. Some have even said they hope for a Morgana Lightning Collection figure.
That would be good.
Yeah,
Nice versus pack SPD yellow. Morgana, finish us off nice. I like Lightning Collection. I don't know if I've mentioned this before.
Well, I think it's fair to say everyone on Ranger Chamber loves the Lightning Collection. It's a big, big step up from the Legacy Collection.
I've got to say, Joe, much as I loved the Legacy, the whole Lightning Collection fight, it excited me, and I can't wait. Come July, August, I'll have my first figure coming to me. I can't believe I've not picked up one sooner.
Well, you'll probably don't forget your birthday in May, so maybe you can get some for your birthday, or maybe I'll get him some. We'll just have to wait and see. But yes, I think that's really fantastic. They've brought back a past, and it's someone who we've not had in the Power Ranger franchise since Mystic Force, and I think that's really, really cool. I don't know if she's voiced any other characters, but Itasis and so Solan, Itasis, and Morgana are the only three we know. But yeah, Gary, when you're ready, when you finish drinking your water, I believe you have a tiny bit more Dino Fury news before we finish up.
I do. Also, for episode 4 of Dino Fury has been revealed as new recruits.
Yes, and when does this episode air?
This will be airing in 2 weeks' time, the 13th of March.
And this is where it's going to get really awesome, because this is potentially going to be the episode where the Green and the Black Ranger, Izzy and Jarvie, join the series, and oh my god, I'm so excited! Oh yes, I can't wait. I've been waiting. Okay. Okay. Okay, Gary. Okay, we better move on. Okay. Okay, moving on. I believe, Peter, you have our next bit of news because it's time for. Well, what's our next segment?
It is time for Super Sentai news.
Yay! Super Sentai!
Super Sentai! GoldKing Super
time!
Mini Park prototype revealed.
Ooh!
And if we look on the screen, we can see what it looks like.
And it looks so cool. You can see the five Wild Zords and the GoldKing mecha itself. And it looks amazing. And you can obviously see that photo on screen. And that looks fantastic.
This is obviously a black and white image. I know there's been a coloured one going around which was photoshopped. But if I check my calendar very, very quickly, I believe, yes, next week, 1 week's time, we should be receiving some more imagery. Hopefully some more information on the future of this Super Mini Pla line, because there are also rumours that they're going to do the entire line because there's something of a name change. I believe they're going to start calling it Candy Toy or something to that extent.
Mm.
But I always thought Candy Toy was already a thing with Super Sentai in Japan.
I mean, the Mini Plas, they are considered candy toys in Japan, because you buy your bits, you put it together, and there's your decent thing. Obviously, these are premium, so you pay higher prices for more of a thing.
Yeah, of course.
So
it's really cool.
We'll get more information on that next week as to whether it's just a typo on someone's part, or because they haven't announced a name change. It's the translation came out as there was no Super Mini Pla mentioned in there at all. But this is clearly a Super Mini Pla release, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And of course, Ranger fans, I think we need to ask you guys in the comments below, why don't you comment what Super Mini Pla Megazord or Zord you would like to see? So comment that below in the video. Okay. Is there any more to add? Is there any more to add to this?
I think we need to credit where this image has come from. So this week, the Jello Zone Facebook page, that's TheGelozone, posted said images of the prototype of GoldKingRanger, Super Mini Pla GoldKing Mecha, or the Wild Force Megazone as we would know it in the Power Rangers fandom.
In the British American, in the English fandom, should we say? In the English.
Yes. So,
Also,
there we go. Also, there are some breakdowns in the image here. I'm sure we have another one just here. The guy, the Jello Zone, he posted the original photo, and then what we have here is his edited photo, and he's pointed out these elements of the photos that he's noticed. So you can see on the bison there, just in the background in between his thighs, the wheels are there, which means he has concluded that it will form like the tank mode. That combination.
That was Power Ranger Wild Force, was it?
That was in Wild Force. They didn't use it as a tank, but it was part of the combination sequence. They were all sort of laying down. You had the bison laying flat, lying at the front. The arms would be poking out like that, and you had the eagle up here. And then it'd do some sort of Transformers wizardry, and all of a sudden it was a Megazord. That was in Wild Force.
But the toy version, the deluxe toy, the legs of the bison are extended out even further to fit the lion, and then you had a platform that would go on the back of the bison to put the tiger and the shark on the top, and then the eagle would probably sit behind the lion with its wings up, sort of thing.
Yeah, they've included that in. You can see that the image you're talking about. You can see that in this image here. So what he has deduced is that it should do. I mean, you guys can see this image better than I can because I'm staring at this imaginary photo, whereas you can see the real one. But you can see here where he's pointed out all the things he's noticed about the combination sequence. So up here with the red line, there's a little circle that he's highlighted. You can see there's like a peg that does this kind of motion, which, as he stated here, means that's additional arm articulation. Obviously, you can see the tank mode thing I'm talking about here. And what's the other one? The toes on the bison are pivoted, so you can get that sort of, I don't know where you can see this guy, but that sort of lean-in action, you know, the power stance, where your legs are sort of in a V kind of thing. So my hopes for this thing, as always with the Super Mini Plas, it looks like it's going to be true to form.
Loads of articulation and great detailing, but knowing how great they've been in the past, yes. Okay, and we got
also forgot in this image up here, it comes with the roaring face.
I think what it is,
whether that's the only faceplate we get, I don't know. I might have a thing about that, but that is definitely a roar, as you can see.
I think what it does, it twists the equal tail to show two different faces. You've got the normal standard face, and then the other one is the roaring face. And you see the roaring face in Wild Force when they use the fin blade, because he takes up the fin blade and he goes, roars.
It's part of the transformation animation, yeah. With Superman, I'm just expecting it to pop off and me pop on another one. But again, we will see, hopefully, next weekend. But of course, we will be back to discuss everything that comes out that weekend.
Yes, but one more little bit of Super Sentai news we've got to show. We've got an image up here because this week, an image was posted online of the Zenkaiger Robo combination with the red and pink mecha, or Zords in our case, only with another mecha, but it's purple. It's covered in a purple colour. So the question is, what is it? Is it a 6th Ranger Zord, or is it probably might be an auxiliary Zord, knowing the chances. It probably might be an auxiliary Zord, because I feel maybe it's too soon to reveal a 6th Ranger, but the question is, what kind of Zord is it?
It's a mystery.
And Power Ranger would that be
image supposed to come out
with the counterpart for our Power Rangers Void Knight? Do you think it's their villain Zord?
I don't think it'd be that, Gary. I think it'd probably be it's Zenkaiger, so it's a tribute to different mechas. That's the theme of these Rangers. It's tributes to all the Megazords and stuff. So maybe it will be like a tribute to some of the auxiliary Zords, maybe of one of a specific color. Who knows? But of course, as always, Ranger Nation, if we find out anything at all, we'll be posting about it on our social media. And if you don't want to wait until then, you can catch us on our news videos like this one every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. UK time and 2 p.m. US time. Okay, now we're moving on now because Gary,
may I?
For our next section. What's our next segment?
Thank you, Joe, my dear. I am looking very forward to this. I've been looking forward to reading this all day when we were reading. We've got some very exciting news that Boom Studios to release a new Power Rangers villain to hero comic again.
And okay, so we've got a villain to hero comic, but I wonder who it's about.
Heir to Darkness, the comic is called, but who is it about? Let me tell you, Heir to Darkness is a Power Rangers Unlimited origin story about how Caron has kidnapped a child and became Astronomina.
Yep.
It's the main villain of Power Rangers in space.
That's Rocket.
Astronomina was one of the most popular Power Rangers villains ever, and her true origin is revealed for the first time in a one-shot directly contacted to the events of Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers.
Ooh, so exciting. I think this is really cool because, fans have wondered for many years what was it like when Corone was growing up as a child? I mean, she was kidnapped by Darkonda as a kid. Obviously, he was working for Dark Spectre, and Ecliptor obviously raised her as, as her own daughter, sort of thing. So it's really interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. And also, it seems in some of these, because if you look in the picture up above, this is a promo image of Astronomer and Ecliptor. So clearly, Astronomer has her purple hair, which is the first hair color we ever see her have when she first appears in the Power Ranger TV series. But it makes you think, if this is going to tie in with the Mighty Morphin and Power Ranger comics, it's like, why would they bring a Power Rangers in Space villain in a time where she was never really around? It's very strange. But, Peter, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, everything that Boom Studios seems to be producing is definitely worth a read. Absolutely. They're clearly fans of the Power Rangers franchise, and they put a lot of thought and energy into what they've been doing, and so far what they've been coming out with is nigh on perfect. I mean, there were some complaints about Beyond the Grid, it being a bit slow or whatever, but I've read it myself. I get it. I might even have it to hand.
It's a cool story, actually, Beyond the Grid. I mean, but then Beyond the Grid, so, yeah, Beyond the Grid was its own set of comics, and it was the events after Shattered Grid where everyone was separated, but then they did get back to their normal time periods and where they needed to be, or dimensions.
I'm not going to go into it myself because I don't want to give any spoilers or anything for people that might have gone over it, but it is definitely worth a read, especially with some stuff about the Morphin Masters coming about in Dino Fury, but I'm not going to say any more. You need to read it for yourself. No spoilers here. So, the Astronomer one-shot. So, for those that don't know or are unaware, one-shot is basically one comic, one book. There's a story as a beginning, a middle, and end. And whether you can associate that with other stories, that's obviously down to the writing in there. But it's not a season, it's not a series. It is what it says. It's a one shot. So in there, we're going to get the backstory of Corone, most definitely Ecliptor. Dark Spectre's got to make an appearance at some point.
Well, he's on this image here, which is the cover. It's not the finalized cover, and it might change, but this is the cover image we've been given for the time being. So it does look really cool because you've got Astronomer, Ecliptor, and Dark Spectre at the back looking just menacing. And it's really clever how they recycled the Malagor costume from the Turbo Power Rangers movie. And yeah, I think that's really cool. All right, so I think I'm actually looking forward to this because so far I've enjoyed a lot of these Power Ranger comics. We have had Soul of the Dragon and Psychopath, Sins of the Future, and was there another one? I'm trying to think, was there another one? I'm pretty sure there was a fourth one.
The Tommy one, the Psycho Ranger one, the Time Force one.
And I guess this Astronomer one is the fourth one. So I think I personally would love to see
Turtles and Justice League.
Yeah, but that's not a way. I mean, that's just
They were still one shots.
Comics put together. But what I mean is, it's like a spin-off one shot comic. I think Ranger fans, comment below if you could get a one-shot Power Ranger story from any Power Ranger series. What stories would you like to see? Me personally, I would love to see a one-shot story that takes place with Power Rangers. I think I'm going to say Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, because that had a lot of things in the series. I think it'd be really cool to see the Lost Galaxy Rangers, because I know there was a little story that was made for Astronomer, for Corone's trial because of her stuff as Astronomer. But I think I would like to see something like a bit more to that, maybe, or maybe another. I think maybe
Time Force. Maybe I think Time Force would be a really good comic.
Cheese. Sorry. I was just My father was calling me. Was asking me about dinner. Unfortunately, he didn't know we were recording this. So my apologies in advance. Okay.
Please, Gromit.
Jeez, I'm very British. I love Power Rangers. Oh, let me invent a Megazord. You can tell this show is very British.
I like trains.
Okie dokie. So that is all the articles for this week. So we have, but before we wrap up, it's time for our Ranger Highlight of the Week. Okay. So it's our Ranger Highlight of the Week. Well, I suppose, do we have one each, or do you think we can agree on one big one? What do you think? Peter,
why don't you tell us yours first, Joe, and then we'll tell you if we agree with you.
Okay. I think the highlight of the week would definitely be, I think the Hasbro stuff. The Hasbro plans. It's sort of as I said, I'm in the middle with it, but I think it is a bit of a highlight because it is exciting. It's an exciting, but I'm very frightened the future Power Rangers because I'm worried about what I don't want Hasbro to destroy the Power Rangers because you don't want. Look what happened to Paul Thomas the Tank Engine. Yes, I know that's Mattel, but if they did something really childish and babyish like that for Power Rangers, I would never forgive Hasbro for as long as I live because it's like I know people want change for Power Rangers. Because Power Rangers does need to change and get better. But as long as it stays, like I said, as long as it stays live action, I'm absolutely fine with it. So yeah, Peter, Gary, what about you guys? Highlight of the week for you two?
Bouncing off what you just said, the whole reimagining of Power Rangers, that could again go one of two ways, either good or bad. The good way, in my opinion, was obviously they want to expand the brand. So you got a This is speculation on my point. This is what I want to see. This is not confirmed in any way. A Netflix season, which is more for older fans. So the dark, nitty gritty, one or two characters might bite the dust kind of thing. Then you've got your Saturday morning cartoon, which, in my opinion, would do really well if they rebooted the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in that sense, because it gives them an excuse to sell even more Mighty Morphin merchandise, because it is their money maker in the Power Rangers world. And then, what else was there? Continue with the normal
live action,
like what we have now.
The live action TV series that we liked with Dino Fury, but only it will be their own made content, so their own theme, their own suits, their own Megazords, their own monster suits, their own props, their own morphers, their own sets and everything. Because maybe if it's like that, because I think one thing that Simon Bennett is the showrunner of Power Rangers, he mentioned that he wanted to break free of all the Saban stuff because when you use Super Sentai, yeah, it's great if you're a big fan of that Super Sentai series, but it doesn't really give the creators an opportunity to really just explore the Power Ranger universe. That's why they mean by reinvent the universe. See, if it's under Hasbro's full control and they don't have to rely on Super Sentai footage, they can really explore and do something totally different. They could go from dinosaurs and then they could go blasting off into space and make it into, like, I don't know, space dinosaurs or something, or do it in the jungle and then it becomes I don't know, mythical beasts or something. I don't know. It's like we got to give Power Rangers and Hasbro the chance to really explore the Power Rangers universe, and I think now I think about it, there's part of me that really feels excited about what they could do with Power Rangers. But as I said, stick with live action and it will go far, in my opinion. But give the fans an animated series, like a Saturday morning cartoon thing, to keep the animated fans happy. And then for the adult fans, nitty gritty Power Rangers spin off, with a bit of, drugs and murder, actual murdering.
They might not need to go that far, but
you know what I mean?
Like Time Force, Lost Galaxy, although even Lightspeed to some extent, all those seasons, but the dials really turned up.
maybe PG-12 or like a PG-12 Power Ranger season or something.
Yeah.
Something like Power Rangers meets Stranger Things. Maybe something like that. Maybe a mix of those two things.
A Power Rangers where they can actually use
Yes,
the phrase
please.
"kill the Green Ranger." Something as simple as that. We're not going to destroy them anymore. I want you to end them.
Look at the Power Rangers, like the 2017 movie. That had quite a few dark, gritty bits in it as well. Like they had people actually being killed off.
Turn that dial up. All the way up to adult.
I guess this is what we hope to see when Power Rangers reinvents. But of course, in the next 2 years, we are going to continue to support the Power Rangers, especially Dino Fury, because it is so far.
Support 100.
Sorry, I got excited.
And I think I'm going to regret buying that Morphin for him because he's not going to shut up about it. Okay.
I got
Keep the candy
excited.
store.
I can understand how parents feel now. I really do. Okay, so that is it, Ranger Nation. So we'd just like to say thank you. Thank you for watching. As always, please remember to like the video, share the video, comment below. And your question of the day is, what is your favourite article that we've announced today? And, well, Peter, do you have a question?
Do I have a question? What would you guys like to see Super Mini Pla do next? Because I wasn't anticipating the Wild Force GoldKingRanger release, but I'm still happy about it. So, what do you guys want to see released? I know it's a Sentai product, but we don't discriminate here.
Yeah? Okay, Gary, what about you? What question? Do you have a question to the fans to ask?
For the comics, what do you want to see next? Do you want to see Mighty Morphin? Or do you want to see them go in a different direction? Comment below and tell us what you think.
Cool. I think a one-shot Zeo story would be cool because everyone loves Zeo. So, and I think if I could throw in one more little question, what do you want to see Hasbro do with Power Rangers when they reinvent the franchise? If you, as we said, like comment below, and of course, 1, 2, 3, go subscribe! Because we got many more videos coming out each week on the Ranger Chamber YouTube channel, from news, toy reviews, book reviews, and we got loads of brand new things coming out in March. So hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss a thing. And thank you so much for watching. It's a goodbye from me, and it's a goodbye from Peter and Gary from the Ranger Chamber team. Say bye, guys.
Bye, Ranger Nation.
See you guys very soon. And as always, may the power protect you. Have a Morphinomenal day. We are the Ranger Chamber team, and that was the news from the grid. Good night, everybody. See you now.